I will bless the Lord at all times. His praises shall continually be upon my lips. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. As always, I always share this as soon as I get here. How's everyone doing? I see you all coming in. Hey there. Hi guys, how are you? As soon as you come, you know what to do. Do you know what to do? As soon as you come, do you know what to do? Let's see if people know how we work here. Let's see if people know how we work. What do we do when we come here? What do we do when we come here? We give love. We give love because we function on love. We function on love, so we give love. Just press the thumbs button. Press it real strong. Press it. Because we function on love. And I'm trying to share this. If you have not been here before, I'm trying to share this on my Facebook page, The Teacher Show. If you're going to be watching this from our YouTube channel, welcome. How are you? If you haven't joined us for a proper live broadcast on Facebook, I don't know what you're doing with your life. This your life. Look at it. Look. You have not joined us for a live video. Huh? This your life. I don't know where you're going. I'm excited to have everybody here, guys. You have no idea what's been happening in my house. It's a joke. If I literally tell you that I think probably 10-15 minutes late because I have been trying to get 2 flies out of my house. If you know me, you know I can have a crocodile in this house. I could literally have hens in this house. I could have dogs. I could have 10 dogs in this house, and I could be able to do a proper Facebook Live. But if I have a fly, I cannot stand the sound of a fly when I'm trying to concentrate. So I was literally trying to just get 2 flies out of my house, and it's ridiculous, but the devil is a liar. I say the devil is a liar. Today I'm going on live, and I'm going to make sure that somebody gets encouraged, somebody gets inspired, and somebody is blessed. And today's topic is I believe it's a powerful topic, because a lot of us, you are either in transition, you are either single and not searching, and that's what we all say. But you know, the honest truth of the matter is that I believe that subconsciously, in a certain portion of our minds, that every season is always somehow in waiting, if you're a woman, and if you're a man, searching, low-key searching. So let's call you a low-key searcher or a low-key waiter, because you know, there are women that say, you know what, I'm perfectly happy and I don't need a man in my life right now. But low-key, you are actually hoping that God hooks you up with the right man at any season in your life. And if you're a man, you are hoping that God brings forth that rib that you have been waiting for, that suitable companion, that suitable helper. And so in any season, whether you are in a relationship, you've just recently started your relationship, there is always you're always in transition into and out of relationships, because we can never leave as islands. We are constantly in connection with people, and we're constantly in relationship with people. And so today I want to specifically jump into this lesson, because I don't want it to be long. I want to specifically talk about 5 things that I personally believe, from a maturity point of view, and from an experience point of view, and from observation point of view, I have realized is killing a lot of courtships in the early stages. I am going to talk about stuff, and while I'm talking about this stuff, I want you to promise me that you are not going to think about the other person that you dated, or the other person that you almost dated, and say to yourself, well, that's why it didn't work out, because they didn't do that. I want you to be at a place, remember, we're very big on self-introspection on this channel. We're very big on self-introspection on the 5 Things Live video. So when I hit a nerve, I want you to say, Melody, that's my thing. We don't talk about anyone else's business here. We talk about our own business, right? So if any of these things are actually something that you feel was something that you probably neglected, or that you were not well equipped in, then be honest with yourself to say, you know what, that's my thing. So let's be at a place where we are able to learn for ourselves. All right. I see a lot of you guys coming in. Hi guys, how you doing? How's everybody doing? I hope you're going to have a good time today. So the first thing that I wrote here is immaturity. Immaturity is one of the things that kills courtships in their early stages. What does immaturity mean? What am I talking about when I talk about immaturity? Immaturity manifests itself in a lack of preparedness. I don't know if if you're a guy, you meet this woman, she catches your eye, and so you start drawing closer to her. You are completely mesmerized by the way that she looks, the way she handles herself, the way she acts. You probably ask your guy friends, who's that girl? Where does she come from? Where does she stay? What's she all about? You start learning about her character from external parties, and you're just fascinated by this woman. And in many cases for guys, you take a long time, you spend a long time trying to study this person. And in many instances, you have a perception about this person that you are just meeting. And maybe after a couple of weeks, sometimes after a couple of months of just observation, you approach her. When you approach her, you hopefully want friendship with her. And when you guys maybe start talking, you tell her that you're interested, and then you start dating, right? In many instances, what we notice outside of a relationship is not necessarily what we're going to encounter when we enter into the relationship. So you're going to notice a lot of things, and you're going to make a personal observation, and you're going to make a personal conclusion. But I love what one wise man said. They said the lowest level of wisdom is assumption. So you're entering into a relationship under a lot of observation and assumptions. Now, when you enter into the space of relationship, you realize, you know what? This person is immature. And I specifically talk about immaturity, especially if you're a person who is courting, because my understanding of courting is that you are ready for marriage. You are dating someone with the intention of entering into a place where you guys can consider marriage. So you are dating with purpose, you are dating with intention. And you actually realize that this person is immature. Maybe you're a person who is spiritually sound and you're spiritually grown, and you're a woman who loves to pray, and then you start dating this guy and you actually realize, you know what? This person looks like a solid Christian from outside, but while I'm entering into this thing, I'm realizing this guy is not as mature as I thought he was. Or if you're a man and you start dating this girl, and in your head you're thinking, I think I've got somebody that is sound, somebody that I can actually trust to be my wife, to build a home for me, to create an environment that is peaceful and loving for me, and to start helping me pursue my vision, and to start helping me get to my next level. And you've looked at this girl and you've said to yourself, I think she's mature enough to handle my purpose, to handle my destiny, to handle my ministry, to handle, everything that God has entrusted in me. I think I can trust her as a suitable partner, right? Because there's a certain level of investment that you've placed on you. And you actually realize that this person is very immature. That can be a massive turn off, and it's one of the things that have killed a lot of relationships. Immaturity and inability to have the capacity to handle even the struggles that are going to come with the relationship, the challenges that are going to come with the relationships, the pressures that are going to come with the relationships, the external pressures, the physical pressures, the spiritual pressures. Because remember, if you have an agenda and a purpose with this relationship, then there's going to be spiritual attacks on this relationship. So a lot of people have entered into relationships and they are not mature enough, or sometimes there is one portion of the relationship that is mature. So maybe the guy is mature and the lady is immature, or maybe the lady is mature and the guy is immature, and then you have an unequal yoke by reason of the fact that there is one person that is not mature. So the first thing that is a deal breaker, that is literally killing a lot of courtships, is one portion is immature. And let me tell you something, when you date somebody that is immature, it becomes such a frustration. I don't know if somebody relates. It's such a frustration. It is a complete frustration when you're ready. It's like a car that is ready to move. Everything is in it. The fuel is in it, the everything is ready, but it just doesn't want to move. Like, it's such a frustration dating somebody that is at a different maturity, at a different maturity level than you. And it takes a very patient man to be able to handle an immature woman, or a very patient woman to be able to handle an immature man. And it takes a lot of patience, a lot of patience, a lot of patience. So immaturity. Number two, one of the things that is also killing courtships at a very, very early stage is hypocrisy. I'm a little sick. Pray for me, saints. Pray for me, saints. Hypocrisy. What do you mean hypocrisy, Melody? Have you ever had somebody that has an expectation from you that they themselves are not even able to fulfill? So you've been in a relationship and you dated this man, and this man wanted everything on point. He always wanted you to look good. He always wanted you to show up at your dates at the right time. He always wanted you to say the right things when you were with his friends. He always wanted you to, post the right things on Facebook. He always wanted you to there is an expectation that you can have on somebody, and while you have an expectation on someone, you actually don't realize that you yourself don't even know how to meet that expectation. And so that's why there has to be a lot of emphasis on patience, especially in the early stages of a courtship, because you can easily become a hypocrite when you are expecting someone to do things that you can't even do yourself. Many instances when we start our relationships, we have our little lists. The guy's got a list and the lady's got a list, and everybody says, you have to make sure that you do what's on my list. And in many instances, these lists are not even verbalized to each other. So there is this mental expectation that we have of each other, and nobody knows this expectation. And in your head, you're saying to yourself, well, if he doesn't do this, he's not the one. And he says, if she doesn't do this, she's not the one. And hypocrisy is expecting someone to do certain things that are on your list, and you don't even know how to do the things that are on that list. You want her to be patient, but you're not patient with her. You want her to be kind, but you're not kind with her. You want her to be consistent, but you're not consistent with her. You want her to be long-suffering and to understand you, to be understanding, but you're not understanding with her. You want her to be able to fit in with everyone in your circle, but you're not fitting in her circle. You want her to be able to encourage you, but you're not encouraging to her. And so hypocrisy is teaching someone what you yourself are not even doing. Hypocrisy is preaching what you are not practicing. Hypocrisy is expecting of another what you yourself cannot even be. It's like saying to someone, carry this cross, but when that cross is put on your back, you can't even carry it. So that's the second thing that I think is a massive, is causing a lot of pressure on courtships, especially in the early stages. Hypocrisy. You find out that this person expects a lot from you and they don't give a lot. Number three, which is a deal breaker, killing a lot of courtships in their early stages: conditional love. Conditional love. Now listen to me, my loves. Listen to me, my loves. Listen to me, my loves. When you are ready to love, they say love is for the brave. When you are ready to love somebody, and I think this is for people that are genuinely mature and that are genuinely ready to get into courtships. I'm not talking about people who want to have fun. I'm talking about people who are genuinely at a place in their lives where they want to commit. You cannot enter into a relationship and expect to just love someone because of all the good that they do. You've got to be at a place where your maturity has taken you to a point where you are able to love the good and you are able to love the bad. Conditional love is not going to take you to your place of destination. And by this, I mean it's not going to take you to the altar. Conditionally loving someone, choosing intentionally to say, I am going to love these portions about them, and this I am totally not going to love. I understand when you are willing to grow with somebody, when you're willing to grow with somebody to their next level. But love says, I am going to love you where you are, and I'm going to nurture you to be at your very best, and I'm going to be consistent in showing you love until you grow into the person that I desire you to be. Because a lot of times we place a lot of demand and a lot of pressure and a lot of guilt on somebody, and guess what? That guilt and that pressure and that persistent pushing away actually drives them away rather than drawing them closer to us. So you want to be at a place where you are committed to unconditionally loving somebody in their weakness, in their inconsistency, in their impatience, being able to communicate very well and saying, I don't necessarily approve of this, but I'm willing to love you through it. So unconditional love. If you're going to be conditional in your love, if you're going to say, listen, it's not going to work. It just won't work. You cannot be conditional and expect a relationship to work, because you are dealing with somebody that is coming from a totally different background. This person has been raised in a totally different family, totally different culture, with totally different people than you were raised with, and they have lived a completely different life from you. And so you're literally merging two different lives together. And so you've got to be at a place where you're willing to give so much grace and unconditionally love somebody to the place where you desire for them to be. And if you cannot find it in your heart to unconditionally love somebody, then let them go. Let them go. You just have to be at a place where you can unconditionally love somebody. Unconditionally love them. Number 4, selfishness. Selfishness is killing courtships in an early stage. Courtships at early stages are frustrated by reason of the fact that people are selfish. What do you mean, selfish? Selfishness is when you refuse completely to allow somebody's existence and somebody's presence in your space to change and to alter the way you do certain things about your life. You've been living as a single man. You have been working and you've been earning an income. You have been saving up. Nobody tells you how to run that money. You have been going wherever you want to go with your boys at any point in time. Nobody tells you how to run your game. You go where you want to go at any point in time that you want to go. You say what you want to say at any point in time. You say what you want to say. You wear whatever you want to wear. Your favorite color is your favorite color. And then all of a sudden you are interested in this amazing girl, and she enters into your life and she enters into your space, and she has an opinion because she now has shared interest in your life. We're not talking about changing and restructuring somebody's life completely and utterly coming to upheaval everything that they've created for themselves. But I'm talking about understanding and acknowledging the fact that you are no longer on your own in this relationship, and that there is somebody else that is in it, that shares stake in it, that shares stake in your life, and that has an opinion that needs to be taken into consideration, that has an opinion that needs to be valued, that is an opinion that needs to actually be listened to. And so when you're a selfish person, you do not understand the fact that you are no longer the only person in this relationship. Selfishness says my way or the highway. Have you ever seen people date people like that? Or have you ever dated somebody like that? Or are you currently dating somebody like that? I don't know. If you've ever encountered somebody that is selfish, selfishness says I only understand what I know, what I have thought is what goes, and I don't intend on changing. I don't intend on moving. I don't intend on changing. And so if you're a selfish person, you cannot expect to have a flourishing courtship, and you cannot be at a place where you actually believe that you're going to take your relationship to the next level until somebody breaks that selfishness. Somebody has to be willing to die. And in many instances, both parties are going to need to die, but in many instances, it has to start with one party. Somebody needs to be at a place where they say, you know what? I'm willing to come out of myself. I'm willing to let your needs become a priority to me. And I'm willing to let your voice actually become a valuable entity in my life. And unless and until both parties are at a place where they say, you know what, let's forget about this space that we'd created, this very comfortable zone that we'd created for ourselves before you came, and I'm willing to be uncomfortable. I'm willing to be uncomfortable so that I can let you into my space, and I can actually honor and appreciate whatever value that you have to bring into my life. Because let me tell you something, that person, when they come into your life, they're going to change something. They're going to change certain things about your life, and you have to be at a place where you are willing to actually allow and be receptive of that change. So selfishness has to come off. And I say here, number 5, one of the things that is killing courtships at an early stage is inflexibility. And I talk about inflexibility separately because I think that it's just so important to understand that if you are not willing to bend, if you're not willing to move, if you're not willing to be workable, you know, I like to call it being malleable. And I like to give the example of a field. A field, before you plow and plant anything on it and you start to actually receive any harvest from it, you've got to plow it first. You've got to take a hoe and you've got to start working this field. You've got to start working this field. And while you're working this field, we call it making it malleable. You're trying to make it workable. You're trying to make it a field that you can actually plant some seeds on. And you've got to be at a place where you are malleable, flexible, workable. If it's a wire, it's got to be, it can't be a it can't be a standstill, a stern iron that cannot be bended. So you've got to be a person that's a bit bending. You know, I've got a baby sister, and she is 12 years old. She's 12 years old, our baby sister in the family. And I just watch her and I marvel because she's still such a kid, you know, and she's strong-willed. She's this beautiful, strong-willed girl. And it's her way or the byway, you know, what she says goes, you know. And I watch her and I actually think, you know what? The older this girl gets, you know, a couple of years from now, one of the biggest assets that she's going to that are going to be very valuable to her as a lady and as a woman, and this applies to any person at all, is your ability to be flexible. I mean, this is applicable in the workplace. This is applicable in organizations, in institutions, in the boardroom, in ministry. You've got to be at a place where you are willing to be flexible. It nourishes any relationship at any level at all. It could be a corporate relationship. It could be a marriage relationship. It could be a dating relationship. It could be whatever relationship that you are in, a business relationship. You've got to be at a place where you are flexible, because let me tell you something. There is going to be something that will happen. There will be a situation that presents itself that requires one person to bend. And if both of you are inflexible, you cannot move, you cannot bend, you believe that, you just believe that whatever you think, whatever you say, however you act, and however you're maneuvering around life is the best, and there is no input at all that can be added, it's going to be difficult for you to actually make any relationship at all work. And some of you are here and you're actually in relationships and you've been saying to yourself, you know what, let me just tap out of this thing, you know. Let me just tap out of this thing, because clearly there's nothing that I say. And this is what we get to that place where we actually think that everything that we've said has been dismissed. And in many instances, it's not everything that we've said. It's certain things that we've said and we just wanted our way. And when we didn't get our way, we became very childish and we said, you know what, I'm tapping out. Flexibility. Is that thing big enough for you to lose what you have invested in? Is that small detail, that small piece of detail in that situation that you are currently in, is it so big? Is it big enough for you to completely let go of the many years that you have invested in this person? Is that small piece of detail, are you willing to hold on to it so much that you're willing to let go of this person as a whole? I mean, that one portion, that 1% is going to dismiss and completely nullify the 99% that this person is. You know, as women we do it, and as men do it as well. There's this one small pet peeve. There's this one situation, this one incident. And in many instances, it's always that one incident that ultimately leads to a breaking. to a breakup. Why are people breaking up? Inflexibility and inability to let God be the judge. You know, I've had some of the most beautiful encounters by allowing in relationships, different relationships, permitting somebody to have their way when you know very well that this way is going to lead to this way is not going to work. Come on, somebody. Sometimes you just know that this is not going to work, and you know it's not going to work, and you put in your input, and when your input is on the table, it is not taken, and you just say, God, do your thing. Do you. Just do your thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but just do your thing. And then a week later, a month later, things unravel, and it actually turns out that what you had said is what happened. Isn't it such a joy to know that sometimes God is able to fight for you in relationships without you having to be clever? You know, why do you have to be clever all the time? Why do you have to voice it out all the time? Why do you have to continue to persist and to nag until this person changes their mind or changes the decision on the table? Why don't you permit sometimes certain things to happen? Because you know what, when you have a number of experiences that have taken place in your relationship with your other partner, where you have given your input and your input has not been taken, and the other person has gone ahead with whatever they thought was the right decision, and it later turns out that you were actually right, and you actually don't stick it on their nose and say, listen, I told you. What did I say? I told you. You just allow them to feel it, allow them to introspect, allow them to process it, and it happens for the second time, and you permit them, and it doesn't work out right, and you don't rub it on their nose, and it happens for the third time, and you permit them, and it doesn't turn out right, and you don't rub it in their nose. You are creating a reputation of consistent, and you're creating a reputation of consistent. I actually have ideas that can be taken. And you're continuing to commit to giving input, even if it's not taken all the time, but you are building a reputation of a person who actually has input that is right. And you're building a reputation of a person that has input that doesn't always need to be taken. And at some point in time, this person, if they are a normal person, because there's some people who are just not normal, right? But if this person is a normal person, they are going to start valuing your input, because this person is actually in touch with themselves, and they take time to introspect, and they take time to actually think about all the times that you've given them advice, and that advice was right and they didn't take it. And at some point in time, I genuinely believe that you reap the harvest of what you have plowed. So inflexibility, a lack of flexibility, kills relationships. And I wanted to put this as a bonus point as I'm jumping out. One of the things that's killing courtships is people in your business. You're not running an organization. You are managing a relationship. It's not a community engagement. Your courtship is not a community engagement. Your courtship is not an NGO. It shouldn't have 100 people in there. Your relationship with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend or whoever it is, or with the person that you're engaged to, there shouldn't be people in there who are constantly maneuvering and moving and giving opinions and giving suggestions and giving. Get people you trust. Get people that you genuinely believe that God has shown you to give you input concerning your relationship. And let me tell you something, if you and the person that you are dating are not able to solve your issues while you guys are still dating, and you're not able to maneuver around indifferences, and you are not able to settle issues amicably, respectfully, with great love, with great honor for each other, with a certain level of, I am willing to not have my own way. This time I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'm willing to let you take leadership in this role and in this situation. If you can't do that, if you constantly need people to resolve your issues and to resolve every single one of your, if you're not self-sustaining, you, him, and God or you, her, and God. If it's not a 3 people relationship, the third person being God, if it always has to be, if you always have to go to the aunts and the uncles, and you have to be set down, and you have to be cancelled, and you have to be, and you guys are still dating, I'm standing in prayer with you. I'm standing on the gap. I'm standing in prayer with you, because it's going to be extremely difficult for you as a couple to manage anything that is bigger or on the next level of a dating or a courtship. Marriage is a next level game, family. If you can't do courtship right, you wanna slow down. So I wanted to share these things. That bonus one specifically for me is a massive deal. You are not running an NGO, you're not running a company, you're not running an organization. This is a relationship. It's between you and him. And the third person that you constantly have to start talking to whenever you have issues has to be God. And if you have a best friend that has been a pillar and a source of strength in your relationship, I love best friends, and I love close friends, and I love mentors, and I love all of that. But I'm saying that if you are a person who genuinely wants your relationship to flourish, then you have to start getting to a place where you and the person that you are dating are able to go to God with your issues, and you start practicing the tools that are necessary. Start working on the muscles and practicing the tools that are necessary to make you people that are able to solve your own issues on your own. A relationship that always needs a third party to sustain it, and that third party is not God. I'm praying for you. I'm standing at the gap for you, because you are about to invest in something that is extreme, that's going to be extremely difficult in the next few years for you. I am specifically wanting to just pray. I specifically didn't prepare for this relationship 5 things live video, because I wanted it to be as authentic as possible. And I think if I had prepared for it, I was going to over teach it when I just wanted to speak to somebody. And I'm hoping that this video has spoken to somebody. Whenever you don't see this video on Facebook, it's because it's been taken down, and it is now currently on our YouTube channel, the Teacher Show YouTube channel. So every single one of the videos that we've ever done on the 5 Things Live video, you can find them on our YouTube page, the Teacher Show. And you can go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And specifically, a special shout out to the ladies that are watching today, who have subscribed and who have signed in for our Abide e-course. I cannot wait to see you on Monday. I'm excited, and I believe that we're going to have an incredible time seeking the presence of God and experiencing revival in our prayer lives. And if you know somebody that needs this video, I want you to share it with them. I generally do not read the comments, but let me see if there were a couple of people that were commenting while I was speaking. It's always exciting to read your comments afterwards, but I try not to read while I am actually filming. I try to not read while I'm filming. Somebody says unconditional love. That's a word. Says thank you. Says how much time is giving space to someone? If first date went well, but after further contact. So this is actually a question. Somebody says, how much time is giving space to someone? If first date went well, but after further contact you believe you became too available, which pushed her away? You know, I don't believe in a guy being too available, especially with the dynamic that the guy is the one that is pursuing and the lady is the one that is naturally, and you know, obviously things have changed these days, and I'm still very old school. I believe that the guy is a chaser and that the lady waits. You know, that's how I've been raised. And so if you're a guy, I don't believe that you can ever be too available to somebody that is interested in you, Barry. And so if this person had a great time with you on your first date, and she genuinely wants to keep in contact, I think that as a woman, as a mature woman, you have a way of encouraging this guy without necessarily being trashy. You know, there is a classy way of saying, you know what, I think I actually enjoyed this date. I think I enjoyed spending time with you. So I'm not too sure what became too available could really mean when it comes to you being a guy, because as a man you are still supposed to continue to build on your case. I mean, I took you out, which means there's a certain level of interest, and so I'm going to continue to, you know, push and to persist in pursuing you because I'm interested, right? So I never believe that you can be overbearing as a guy unless this person just is not interested in you, Barry. That's the honest truth. So you don't push away. I don't think you push away a lady that found interest in you on your first date by persisting to actually, you know, pursue her. Unless this girl is very independent and she's been single for a very long time and she is still trying to get the hang of having somebody in her life, which once again you would have to have the discernment to know and be able to work with the rhythm. Work with the rhythm, Barry. That's the best advice I can give. I hope that's a blessing to you. Chris says, I love my space. I'm not too sure what specifically you were talking about, Chris, there. Shakira says, yes, indeed. For us to truly love, we must be selfless. Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord, for sure. So I see so many different comments. Guys, I'm going to read these soon after the video. I don't want this to be long, but thank you so much for joining this 5 Things Live video. Send this to somebody that you know will need it. And when you don't see this on Facebook, you know it's on our YouTube channel, The Teacher Show. Love you so much, guys. And can't wait to see you next week. I try not to do relationship videos. That's a genuine truth. I try not to do relationship videos because I'm not a relationship expert, but I do know a couple of things about relationships. But specifically today, I wanted to give this to somebody. So I believe that somebody needed it. That's what I always believe. I believe that every time that I do a video that there was somebody that was in need of that specific word. But specifically, I'm not a relationship expert, fam. But thank you so much for tuning in to all the people that were live. Can't wait to see you next week, Friday, on the 5 Things Live video. Send this to a friend who needs it.